this show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 700. We made it to 700. Yay. We're in the 700 club now. Does that mean we're going to get all religious? No. It's Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Today, Madame Rootabega, Valentino, Bison Bentley. Plus, it's the return of the much-loved feature called Welsh on the World with Robert Owen Welsh. And did you know that soon
Mike's Daily Podcast,
you will be able to make your own robots in the privacy of your own room?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
We'll have more about that story in a moment, but on yesterday's show, Chely Shoehart said she was a fan of some television show that was called 3.5 Two Broke Girls and a Baby. Oh, no. That doesn't exist.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
But she said she was a fan of that show, so who am I to judge? Really is what I'm saying.
Mike's
I think I need to judge
Daily
Lionel Richie.
Podcast.
Is it wrong
Yeah!
that I want to punch him in the mouth? I just read an article in Entertainment Weekly. It's the one with the very beautiful, what the heck's her name? She's the, something with an A. I'll come back to it. So, now I'm all confused. She's in a bikini. Anyway, so what were we talking about? Lionel Richie. He says in this article that the secret to writing a hit song is A, not to be political. I love political songs. What are you talking about? B, you have to have the word forever in there. And C, it has to be about love. I don't know if it was exactly in that order. But it was just like, you know what? I don't need a world where all I have is that kind of music. Oh wait, I do live in a world where all there is that kind of music. We get to play some music here on the show by up-and-coming bands that don't necessarily play that kind of music. Jessica Alba, thank you. Oh, could you sense I was filling till I got to that point, till I remembered who it was? Jessica Alba's in a bikini in the latest Entertainment Weekly. I know there's at least one Lionel Richie song that everybody likes, but what are you going to do? Look who just walked in. Hello, my commercials. This is Madame Rootabega and happy 700th episode. Thank you. I can't believe we made it to 700. How many podcasts make it to 700? It's amazing. We're up here in the godly world of 700. Oops, I said we weren't going to get religious, but I guess we might just a tad because there is a 7 in there, and in the Bible, the 7 is a very important number. I didn't know that. You didn't? No. See, I'm teaching you all kinds of things, and soon I'll tell you all about those robots that you can make in your house. Oh, I can't wait. That excitement was so faked. Look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, happy 700th episode. I can't believe you've done that many podcasts. Your old larynx must be about to fall out right about now, D.
Yeah, you must be really hoarse. Do you know that? Why would I be hoarse? I don't know. Do you know that? Stop talking like that. It hurts my... ears. Anyway, yeah, this robot thing. Fascinating. According to Forbes, what they're doing is they are making robotic components supplied as flat 2-dimensional sheets of plastic which contain the outline of a 3-dimensional shape. The components can be produced simply by heating up plastic, which is cleverly designed so it folds itself into the right form. This could give humanity the ability to build robots or other machines within the home. This new method, discussed by the robotic experts at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, could be used to produce designs for resistors, inductors, capacitors, and sensors and actuators, which are the electromagnetic pull of the Earth forces me to say this word wrong, which are the electromechanical muscles that allow robots to move around. Wow. The International Conference on Robotics and Automation. What do you think? Wouldn't that be cool? You could make your own robots, like you make your own sandwiches at home. Oh, honey, I'm going to make a robot. Okay, dear. Just don't let him loose around the Roomba. You know how they like to fight. I came up with that off the top of my head. 700 episodes. Yay. So excited. Basil gets mad when I do that. Sorry, Basil. And he hates robots, too. What do you think about robots and making them in your own house? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. and read your comments on the section emails from email. Also, email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show. MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com, and check out all the links that we have to all kinds of cool things there at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, including where to find us in iTunes. Rate and comment on the show in iTunes, and that will help more people find out about us. There's also links to where to find us on Facebook. Like the Facebook page, and when I post a new show, share it with your friends, and more people will find out about us that way too. And another great way to support the show is the Amazon deal of the day. Click on that and buy something at a great discount, and that helps us out too, monetarily. There's also links to where to find us on Twitter, YouTube, Yelp, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Stitcher, Mixcloud, and Tumblr. There's also the blog and the daily podcast picture at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Welsh on the world.
Just, be yourself.
Try to be myself, although I don't know what that means.
Do any of us know that?
Because I'm not myself, you know.
I just don't feel like myself. We're talking to Owen Welsh. Do you want to go by...
Hello, hi.
It's Welsh on the World.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
We haven't done this in a long time.
No, we haven't.
And today we are using the very professional high-tech studios of KKIQ FM. Check them out, kkiq.com. And if you live in the Pleasanton, Dublin, Castro Valley, East Bay area, you can catch it at 101.7. 101.7 KKIQ. Your hometown station. Robert.
Yes.
First off, let's talk about this wonderful project we did together where you did some cool animation.
Yeah, it was a very fun project that we were able to collaborate on. I'm so honored to have you voice one of the characters from my animation.
No problem.
So there's a little history. Before, I came to you, we had another guy voice the character, and he doesn't have any professional acting or voice acting experience. And I quickly came to learn that if you want a good performance, it's best if you go to somebody with some professional experience. Otherwise, you spend most of the time pulling your hair out trying to get something that's halfway decent.
Thank you, Robert.
You're welcome.
I feel like I have some purpose in life now.
Oh, you didn't before?
No.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm glad I could give that to you.
Now I do. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And that guy should get a life, because he can't do his job.
Well, he's like a police sergeant or police captain. So I think he's sort of, been trained and bred and raised to be sort of, rigid.
Yeah.
And sort of an authoritative figure, not much of a comedian or entertainer,
I wonder if he's the guy that gave me a ticket for having Basil off leash.
I doubt it. I think he's retired now.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe not, I don't know. Maybe he does some consulting, I don't know. He seems like he still has to do some sort of work on Oakland PD or something.
Well, after a situation like I went through where I had to contest the ticket and then both the police officers showed up, I'm not in the best of moods with the police.
Oh, don't let one spoil it for you. I mean, you're going to meet a bad, one of everything.
Right. Bad apples.
There's bad apples. You can't let them ruin the whole bunch.
But even a bad apple, you can make into a nice apple pie if you add enough cinnamon and sugar.
Yeah.
Brown sugar.
When life throws you lemons, make lemonade.
Why would life throw lemons at you, and would you be mad at life throwing lemons? Because
lemons are bitter. They're sour.
But all you have to do is add sugar and make lemonade. Oh, I get it.
And then it's sweet.
I get it. Okay, that's what it means.
There you go.
I always thought lemons were pretty and, yellow, and they're good when you slice them up and put them on the edge of your drink.
It's not usually the first thing someone thinks of eating when they're hungry.
But have
you ever eaten a raw lemon?
Yeah, it's bad. It messes up your teeth.
Yeah, it's got a lot of acid in it.
Eats at the enamel. Enamel. Thank you.
Enamel, there you go.
So that's what it means. So
yes,
that's why the expression isn't when life gives you chocolate or when life gives you hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's saying lemons.
No, that would be a lemonade, wouldn't it?
Right. So when life gives you lemonade, are you supposed to revert them back to lemons? Are you supposed to show? Is it a challenge to you to do something different?
No.
Speaking of, go ahead.
If someone gives you a good deal, you don't want to then ruin it and make yourself miserable. You want to enjoy it.
Right. So that's the expression, don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
I haven't heard that one yet, but...
You haven't? Oh, I've heard that a lot. That's in a song. Oh, I can't remember the song, but... Okay. Well, I'm not a farmer. I don't know what that even means.
No, I don't either.
I mean, you and I have seen horses and our dogs. That's how we met, was we're walking our dogs one day and ran into each other. But our dog, one of our dog walking adventures, we ran into horses.
That's true. This is true.
And you remember what the horse owner said about horse poop?
No.
When life gives you horse poop, make lemonade. He said that dogs love to eat the horse poop because...
My dog doesn't.
Right. So all dogs love to eat horse
Except for
poop.
that one time in Bodega Bay where it was really fresh. It was still steaming a little.
But
to be a little tempting for the canines.
The point being that there's lots of grass and delicious things that dogs love in it.
Well, a lot of animals, like deer, they eat their own poo because they never digest it the first time.
Oh.
Because it's very fibrous, the grass, so they have to
eat
do
it
a second digest in order to get the vitamins out of it.
Huh. Okay.
So a lot of animals actually do that. Sounds disgusting, but it's really the only way because all they eat is that grass.
Let's change the topic and discuss the animation project. We were talking a little bit about that. It was
about 4 seconds, and I did it all myself. Well, except for the voice, of course.
And it looks top-notch Disney animation, like Disney back when they were doing 2D animation.
Oh, really? Thanks. Yeah, I tried to, have a certain bar of quality that I wanted to meet. So that's really great if you think I achieved that.
And you did that all at home?
Yeah, you're able to do all of that at home now on the computer. I mean, I started out, paper and pencil, the old way, but, you can then scan those drawings into the computer with a scanner, and, it digitizes them, and you can then color it and clean it up inside the computer, and it looks just like what they show in the movie theaters. You can do it all at home now, which is amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, because, maybe 15 years ago, I would say that's not possible.
Right. Oh, this would blow Disney's head off, and then they would have to freeze it.
Yeah, well, they're not even attempting to do hand-drawn stuff anymore. It's all computerized now.
So how many drawings was it in that 4-second animation?
It was, I think, 55 drawings.
Wow.
And when you take each drawing, you expose it twice, which gets you up to 24 frames a second. So, in truth, it's actually 111 drawings that's going by your eye.
Wow.
It's just that for every one of those 55 drawings, you're seeing it for 2 frames.
So much work.
It's a bit of work, but the result is really fun.
What was the character based on?
The character is, well, it was sort of like an idea of this guy who's sort of, he's sort of a suave, sort of dapper guy, but he's also sort of got this pirate edge, so he's got this little earring. And he's trying to, like, entice you to go to this event. So it's just like a little advertisement. But the character was sort of inspired by Marlon Brando and maybe a little bit of Alan Bates.
Who's Alan Bates?
A British actor.
Oh. From a long time ago?
Oh, yeah, from a while ago. He was big, I'd say, in, like, the 60s, 70s.
And so you told me, because you came over to the house, and I have recording equipment, obviously, for the podcast there, and you told me this is what he's sort of based on Marlon Brando from Mutiny on the Bounty.
Yeah, well, that was sort of, the sort of personality of the character. So, like, there's, like, affectations in that, the way Marlon Brando interpreted that character on screen that I kind of liked. So we just tried to use that inspiration as a guide for doing some of the voices, and I think it worked out well.
Because I had no script. I just had to make some stuff up, and basically along the lines of, don't miss this event, because it's for a church, and they're big, what is it?
It's a tailgate party.
Tailgate party.
Yeah, that they're having sort of at the end of summer. The tail end of summer, having a tailgate party.
Ah!
And they're inviting the whole community. It's not really a church event. It's sort of like a community event that takes place on church property.
And this church has been there for over 50 years, hasn't it? It's been there a long time.
It's been there quite a while, yeah. It's very well known.
And it's like the first thing you see when you come into Castro Valley from San Francisco or Oakland.
Yeah, they've got this landmark, these 3 tall crosses that you can see from the freeway. And, they're on this hill that you got to drive up. It's kind of a fun little location they have there.
I was talking to someone who's lived in the area a long time, and she was saying that, like, she met, that's how they would meet boys, is they'd go to the youth group at that church back in, like, the 60s. And then she proceeded to tell me that the guy that she was interested in married her best friend, and she got all mad.
Oh, well.
So that church causes derision.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of young hopefuls that go there to try and make relationships. They're all trying to find, a nice sort of quality person that's not a jerk.
I wish them luck. So, will my thing, the voice, so I said, miss this event and you'll cry along. What did I say?
You said, miss this event or you'll cry every day.
If you miss this event, you'll cry every day. Don't miss this event.
No, you said, miss this event and you'll cry every day.
There we go. Okay. And you animated that.
Yeah.
And it flatters me to no end, because that's the first time that's ever happened. So
I know, you're immortalized now on the screen.
Wow. And
that's going to be tweeted and Instagrammed and Facebooked, like, all over the internet soon. So there's going to be this sort of viral reaction to your work.
Wow.
I know.
Wow, shuts, wow. And so is that also going to have something at the beginning of it, like a little bit of video of, the
Yeah, I'm
event?
hoping that we'll be able to do maybe one or two more videos. And then that little clip, that little piece of animation will be like the bookend for the video.
I see. And that could also be used for other events that you guys do.
Yeah, they'll also be able to use it for other events that they have there. So that's why it serves, multiple purposes. It's kind of flexible in that way.
Now,
it's not specific.
You mentioned a little bit of social media there when you were saying that it was going to be tweeted and everything. Do you use Facebook?
No.
Why don't you use Facebook?
I don't use Facebook because, well, it seems just like a big, like, gossip, sort of like narcissistic rag bag of crap that I don't care about. I mean, all the people who I am interested in, I keep in contact with.
Yeah.
Through phone calls, through seeing them in real life. I mean, there's so many people out there that have all these friends that, they're just, I don't know, they're just glued to their Facebook and Twitter accounts, and I feel like I'd rather live my life outside of that.
Wow. That's well put. People are living in a virtual world with the
I
Facebook.
know, and I do see, like, now I'm just talking about the negatives. I do see the positive of it, especially when it comes to, like, business. It's a great way to create, like, a community following around maybe, a music band or a company, doing promotions and stuff. Like,
yeah.
It's amazing for that, and it's, it's great. But for this whole, like, personal diary thing, I mean, I guess that's important to some people, but for me, it's not mission critical.
Yeah.
And I mean, I try to limit my computer use as it is. I feel like I'm plugged in too much.
Well, I do kind of a personal diary thing on the podcast, but I try and make it entertaining so that people can, kind of commiserate with me and go, oh yeah, Mike, I've experienced that as well, and that also irks me. And, people are always free to write me, and we read your comments on the section, emails from email. Email me at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. Gee, I did that so radio, and it only helps that I'm doing this talking into an actual radio mic for the radio station KKIQ in Pleasanton, California.
Thank you, KKIQ.
101.7.
I listen to you sometimes.
Where we're going to play Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, one of the great mid-'80s hits in exactly 15 seconds. I will relax, don't do it when you want to go to it. Right?
I thought that was George Michael.
Why? That doesn't sound like George. Because he's British? They're both British.
I guess so. I thought it was him. They're not... Were they both...
Well, I guess it was sort of in that era where George Michael was popular with
Wham.
Wham.
It sounds exactly like one of his songs. Like the instruments, everything.
I forget the lead singer of Frankie Goes to Hollywood. I think his name is something Frank or something. I forget. But he was the first openly gay singer in the 80s. Like, he made no secret about it. George Michael made a secret about it until, like, the 90s. He kind of kept it in the closet. Like R. Kelly. No, that's
R. Kelly?
Is it R. Kelly?
I thought R. Kelly was into, like, little girls.
He is, but he has a song called In the Closet.
Oh.
But Frankie Goes to Hollywood is actually produced by a guy named Trevor Horn. And Trevor Horn worked with bands like Yes and ABC, a lot of cool 80s bands.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Did you like Art of Noise? Remember Art of Noise? They had...
No.
They did the Tom Jones version of You Don't Have to Be Beautiful If You Wanna Kiss Me. The Prince song? Okay.
Oh, I know the Prince song.
Yeah, they did a different version in the late 80s.
Oh.
So, Robert, I tell you, I don't like Facebook much because I post things on Facebook and nobody ever comments or rates it or says like on it. Nobody says anything. It's like I'm throwing dust in the wind, to quote Kansas.
Well, I mean, people put stuff up there because, most people are, we're all a little desperate for attention, No.
And
I guess Facebook fills that
true.
gap of loneliness that we have for wanting this attention. And, I don't know. Some people get away with it.
Yeah.
They get people posting all over their Facebooks. You know what I do? I remember when I posted something years ago, I posted something, and then I got a million, responses to it. They're like, oh, my gosh, you spoke. Because I never posted.
But you know what sucks is that it runs on algorithms. What you see in your news feed is, you probably got, there are people that post stuff that nobody ever sees. And you probably got seen by everybody because you are never posting anything. So, Facebook was like, oh, we better give this guy a lot of attention.
I guess so. I mean, there's something going on in the background.
Sorry, that's the best part of the song.
Oh. There's something going on. But, they're also, collecting and collating all this data.
Yeah.
And they're storing it against your name and date of birth and all this stuff, and who knows, what they're going to do with it or who they're going to sell it to at some point.
Well, I want to just quickly go over a couple other quick points with you.
Yeah.
That we could chat about. First off, I've loved some of the stuff you've baked and made. I wanted to ask you if you have cooked, baked, or blended anything of interest lately.
Cooked, baked, or blended.
Yeah, because you make the cool smoothies. You've made the chocolatey Clairs.
Well, I've made some sauces recently in my Vitamix blender, and I've come to find out, to make a good sauce, it all depends on the quality of the fat you're putting into it.
What do you use as fat?
I usually use a nut-based fat. So I'll use pecans, or I'll use a walnut or pine nut. Or almond. You can use a bunch of different nuts as the sort of the base for making it sort of thick and creamy. And then it's just after that about adding, of course, water, and then you have to add a spice or two, garlic, onions. But it's a lot easier than I thought it was.
Because I love sauces and I never make them.
Yeah, a lot of them has to do with fat. There's a bunch of other sauces that have to do with sugar. Mm-hmm. And those usually require a thickening agent, like a starch, to make it all thick and stuff. But I don't know, for some reason those aren't as satisfying to me.
Well, it sounds like if you use a nut sort of fat, it probably is not as fattening or unhealthy for you.
Yeah, it's a healthier fat, so it's the good fats that help you actually burn more fat in your system. Plus, it's got vitamins, it's got protein. It's a lot healthier than just having some sort of ranch dressing that just got butter in there, or milk fat, which, the animal-based fats aren't quite as good for you.
And then I wanted to ask you about the crappy reality shows that you watch, and I never watch them, so I live vicariously through you. And is there anything that I should know about?
American Idol.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
It's over.
Oh, who won?
Caleb. What's his name? Caleb Johnson or something?
And what was he like? Was he good?
He was good. He was very entertaining. And it was very surprising because this, handful of hopefuls were, I'd say they're the most lacking in talent I've ever seen on that show.
Oh.
So it's sort of a scary thought to think that one of them was going to become an American Idol. But I think at the end of it, he actually really proved, he's got a very strong voice and a very, sort of good sense for being entertaining.
How about the show The Voice?
I didn't watch The Voice at all, except I watched the tail end of the finale, and I found it quite boring. I just fast-forwarded through the whole thing.
Wow. Okay. Any other reality shows I should know about?
Reality? Who Wants to Marry Harry?
Oh, that's this week, which is, we're recording this on the 25th of May, so it's supposed to be this week they're starting that, right?
I have no idea. I'm not going to watch it.
All I know is that in radio lingo, we say, I had to dub in to the system, which what that means is when the agency, a big-time agency, does a commercial, and they've got big-name voice actors, maybe your favorite, Ryan Seacrest, is on there. And then they send it to us, and then we put it into the system. There's a way we do it so that it is now in our computer and it'll play when the commercials. Anyway, we say we dub it into the system. I had to dub into the system 5 commercials, and each ran only once. And the first one said, in just 5 hours, it's Who Wants to Meet Harry? What's it called?
Who Wants to Marry Harry?
Who Wants to Marry Harry? And then the next one was...
It's all about that rhyming.
In 4 hours, it's Who Wants to Marry... It's the debut of Who... And it said the same thing, only it said 3 hours, 4... And I'm like, what a waste of money.
That's a lot of money to spend on just, a commercial that's going to be played once.
Yeah. And then finally I wanted to talk about the experience I had where I went with Robert Owen Welsh to... whatever your name is, to the Welsh on the World, to Berkeley, to draw what I thought was going to be a naked woman, but it turned out to be a hermaphrodite. No, a naked man.
And what a fine naked man he was.
And what was it you said to me when we realized the model was going to be a man?
I guess I said, you're going to learn how to draw penis today.
And you know what? I didn't, because I always left that part of him off.
I know.
I just focused on his arms and head, and, well, not that head. The head, the top with the nose, with the eyes.
I'd say most people who start out figure drawing, they skip over those areas.
Really?
Yeah, just because, they have, anxiety over, drawing it or even drawing it well, and then there's a sense of shame in drawing it. There's all these sort of psychologies that go behind it.
I didn't want to look right at it.
A lot of people don't. They feel intimidated.
And then I found it was so easy not to look at it, to look beyond it.
Well, it's definitely not the most important thing when you're going to a figure drawing class to draw, because it's really about what, holding him up and holding the pose and, where the center of gravity is. And
he did some interesting poses.
Yeah.
They looked very, he would hold a pose that looked pretty strenuous for a long time.
Yeah, he's one of the best models I've seen there so far. I mean, in terms of, being creative. And, he was... very fit, so he's able to contort and hold these more athletic poses, whereas the other ones, they end up sort of just slouching down, and maybe just, they sort of look like a corpse laying down on some pillows.
He kind of reminded me of a Cirque du Soleil player, one of those people that can hold
Yeah,
these
well, a lot
tough
of
poses?
them. I've actually had, a lot of actually people from the circus, like trapezeists and stuff, come in and become, models for the day.
Wow.
And some of them are even, from the ballet. So, a lot of them are from those sort of entertainment venues.
Yeah, they got great bodies. They're fit. And tell everybody what you told me yesterday, because I missed the drawing class on Friday.
I can't remember. You're going to have to tell us, Mike.
You said, ha ha, you suck because...
I never said that.
No, you said, guess what? Tonight we had a woman model, and she was hot.
Well, you said you were going to come to the next, and I told you it would probably be a girl because they, alternate.
Dang. Oh, well.
But where was Mike? Reminiscing about the model before that, the man, so...
Yeah. Well, I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Always do what Robert says.
Got to be consistent, Mike. You want to get better at drawing.
Oh, another great 80s song. Name that band.
I don't know.
You were close. The Fix.
Oh, The Fix.
With 2 X's.
That's right, I do remember them.
The lead singer later became a haberdasher.
What's a haberdasher?
He made hats.
Oh.
Cy Kernan, I think is his name.
I actually have hemp right now. It's just hemp seeds, though.
Hats! Not hemp.
Wait, I have a question. If I have hemp seed, like to eat,
Yeah.
does that mean I can grow hemp?
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe our stoner listeners can email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com, and we'll read your answers on the section emails from email.
Okay.
Robert Welsh, Owen Welsh, thank you so much for being on Mike's Daily Podcast and
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Bringing us once again Welsh on the World.
I'm sure your listeners have been captivated, and they'll return for future podcasts where they might be able to hear more of my messianic teachings.
That was very informative. What was what's the website? Do you know what the website is for that church?
Hey, Dad, what's the name of the church? It's not Three Crosses. What is it? Neighborhood. Oh, yeah, Neighborhood Church.
Neighborhood Church. Right. People can Google Neighborhood Church, Castro Valley.
They will find it.
Yay. As we go outside
of
the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Castro Valley, California.
And here's today's podcast picture.
I recently took Basil the boxer. It stopped, let go of my arm. I need that. We went to the Alameda Street Fair recently, and they had this strange kids ride. This where you put your little kid, they have to be, I guess, a certain size, in these big bubbles. And they kind of fight with each other on water. It's crazy. I've never seen this thing before. It reminded me of a music video from Men Without Hats from the 80s. Pop Goes the World. Nobody remembers that song. It was Debbie Gibson's favorite song. I remember her saying that. I remember a lot of superfluous music stuff, don't I? See that picture now, MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com, and Basil the Boxer is staring at that in bewilderment, too, in the picture. Madame Rootabega. This has been quite a show. 700 episodes of Mike's Daily Podcast. Can you believe it? No, Micromaster. In fact, I am quite astonished. I don't know what to do. I want to give you a present, but then again, I'm very cheap. Woo! Yes, well, you've lived for a long, long time, and you don't live that long without not being cheap, right? Yeah, okay. Tomorrow we will bring you the return of the much-loved segment, Do You Know Dat, with Bison Bentley, sort of. Yeah, Mike, I came up with that expression. Do you know that? Yeah. Some interesting things that you probably don't know that about. And then we'll also hear from the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer.
Mike's Daily Podcast Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-Art.com. Email Mike now at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Mike, I also like 3.5, 2 broke girls and a baby. And Lionel Richie.
I hate you.
Relax. Don't do it.